Poland, a country filled with a historic culture of being the punching bag for over 8 centuries, reselling CD keys to a superstitious public, and where having a lack of neck is considered a fashionable lifestyle. You might ask yourself, how can one be immersed in such a culture without ever setting foot behind the concertina wire? Now, as any sane and unmedicated person would ask themselves, where can one be subjected to the day-to-day life of the average Polish citizen in Anno Domini 2026. The immersive sim genre is one of the most financially taxing and business bankrupting styles of video game that has about 5 real contenders for what exactly is defined as a true sim. To keep it brief, immersive sims are games that give vast amounts of player agency or choice in achieving certain goals, rather than having a quest marker or optional quest marker telling you what to do and how to do it. Some keep it simple. We don't do simple here, stupid. I need a world that sucks me in and makes me feel like I'm not just a cog in the machine, but the very lubricant that allows for the world to have fluidity and can cause subconjunctival hemorrhages from how locked in I can truly become. Peripeteia is a first, second, and third person immersive femcell simulator where terrain navigation is a much more aggressive enemy than skin harvesting cybernetic abominations armed with Mac 11s that have a faster response time than Georgia State Police. This channel is now in partnership with Camel Cigarettes and Grupa Zwiek. Thank you for your generous contributions to getting this video produced 5.5% faster. Peripeteia, Peter Pringle.
Peripeteia
Is an immersive sim in the sense that you are let loose in a large, broken metropolis and are tasked with committing various jobs as a mercenary for whatever faction properly aligns with your political horoscope. To begin your descent into Gdansk, you will need to download the game at a cool, crisp 7 megabytes a second. Upon starting a new game, you wake up from your TV static daydream in a landfill that is lodged in between a bar, metro station, and whatever this is.
What will it be today?
And is where your character, a cybernetically enhanced woman named Marie, who looks like she hasn't gotten a wink of shut-eye since the bombing of the West Bank started, has had her memory erased and is left to be salvaged by some disabled middle manager. A situation many Ukrainian sex workers can relate to. Aside from vat-grown homunculi, what should be immediately obvious upon coming into contact with the low-poly garbage piles and MC Escher geometry is the ability to grapple any ledge. Being able to hop your way around post-perestroika Poland is a vital method of locomotion and is what you will be doing while exploring bombed-out Warsaw. While movement feels somewhat fluid in the air, using your legs to traverse street-level areas feels drawn out and really shows off the scale of each level. With the expansive and imposing megastructures in mind, Peripeteia's parkour could best be described as a thinking woman's climbing game. Upon exiting the landfill, you will be confronted by a quadriplegic junkyard salesman and will inform you that he had purchased you through some Facebook marketplace equivalent for organ harvesting and intended to salvage any worthwhile augments for the Polish skin grafting market. Philemon, the quadriplegic junkyard salesman in question, explains to you that he will give you a weapon and an augment to start in your path from girl failure to girl success, and in exchange gives you a quest to retrieve a light bulb from the neighboring planetarium. Setting off, you get the ability to test out your mobility and whichever augment you chose from Philemon by opening your inventory by pressing tab and placing the augment either in the hot slot bar or in the augment screen. Naturally, of course. From there, the tutorial level opens up and becomes your oyster. Don't worry if you get lost. It's part of the fun. Peripeteia's level design is one of its boldest features that might sound misguided or subversive to someone who thinks Siege's wall reinforcement mechanics are quintessential gaming, but verticality is the name of the game here, as descending or ascending a Turbo Khrushchevska is only a crash course in parkour. But if climbing isn't really your thing, you could always take the stairs. If stairs are too boring for you, the complimentary disability lift is available somewhere in the Polish version of Kowloon. Trust me when I say it only gets higher the further in you get, because once you reach the nuclear plant, you'll quickly forget any misconceptions of this being anything other than an immersive sim. When you're save scumming a ledge outside of render distance, augments are direct upgrades to certain aspects of Marie and give more tools to the player in terms of combat prowess, movement enhancement, or female manipulation tactics. Marie comes equipped with previously mentioned mobility enhancements, a drone to survey the area for awareness, and night vision, because why wouldn't she have Soviet-era green phosphor for eyes? Other upgrades that can be found or bought from various barkeeps or vendors range from thermoptic camouflage, bionic catgirl legs, reinforced skin, and a few others that offer specific tools for specific occasions. On the topic of things you can shove inside yourself are several iterations on Cold War weaponry. Makarovs, Simonovs, Papashas, Mosins, and Kalashnikovs all make appearances and are wielded by the Second Union's drunkest conscripts. Analog firepower in Peripeteia has its advantages and disadvantages, as each firearm has its own size, ammunition type, magazine type, and attachments that change the space taken up by whatever you're packing to the high-rise standoff. Maybe a full frontal assault isn't your modus operandi, and prefer to slink through the shadows. Stealth is a measured experience and is determined by how exposed visually and audibly you are. The stealth icon in the bottom left-hand corner displays an icon for how melanated Marie can be and changes based on the lighting of your surroundings. By the way, the lighting effects are top-notch and are often surreal in some cases, as each level has its own method of completion. Turning your blinders on and engaging in hyperviolence is certainly a way to achieve your goals, but not the most impactful, as any gopnik with an AK can march their way into a theater and make Columbine look like a custom Doom level. But it takes a certain type of sociopath to climb across a drainage pipe to recover blackmail on a certain member of the Kopasa posse. During your journey, you will encounter several quest lines that have a number of methods of completion. As of the current build, 3 prominent factions make their appearance and offer jobs to benefit their side at the expense of the other factions. The most prevalent is the PSR, or Polish Swag Republic, which is in a constant power struggle with the Second Unionists, or Communism Squared, who can be summed up in a single set piece. Their subsequent quests can also be summed up as radical terrorism and mainly involves blowing up PSR operated facilities, because they're the good guys. There's also minor factions like the Joy Cultists, who literally exist to smoke heroin and whose only declaration is crocodile for the masses now. Completing jobs for all factions might sound like a tier of fence sitting only Boogie 2988 is capable of, yet it is necessary to view them not as people, but as mere obstacles to overcome in your grand journey of finding the bunker where your mind was electronically molested, and is critical in rectifying the actions of those responsible for leaving you in that skin grafting auction. How did things get so brutalist around here? You might ponder to yourself while grappling down 3 stories of pipes to figure out who to skewer with your saber next. The story goes that after the Soviet Union broke apart, the Cold War kept going, and and resulted in everyone from the European Union to the CCP engaged in a little trolling. After this event, known as the fireworks, occurred, much of the civilized world broke up into their own apparatchik-approved struggle snuggles, with each one grasping at straws inside the international disputed zone where most of the game takes place. Aside from acephaly derivatives that have ravaged most of the living spaces, the IDZ is just another exclusion zone where the laws of physics and man are a loose framework for anarchy to take place. What else? Oh yeah, this game has severe tonal whiplash. One level, you're fighting a tank column. The next, you're having your spine ripped out. While that sounds like a joke, it is very much a reality that you will live through again and again unless you know exactly where to go and how to get there. If you make it to this part, there's no shame in watching a walkthrough, because I did, and I still got lost in the adrenochrome facility. After finishing Outskirts, I did have criticism to share, but after replaying Belgrade, I completely understand the point of the level design, and it's not the 2-hour dilemma Steam users frequently cite as a problem. No, there really is a point to it all, and it's not schizophrenia, as some knuckle-draggers will write it off as, but I'll leave you to come to the same epiphany I had with Reclamation. Final score. While recently released into early access, the current state of Peripeteia will take you on a train ride through some of the most surrealistic depictions of post-apocalyptic Poland. While Peripeteia is not a complete experience, all mechanics and features are subject to change, and won't be finished until the Polish bureaucracy starts funding Shud Anon, the lead developer, a cybernetic heart to continue spilling his unrestrained consciousness across my Steam library page. If you enjoy cranking 90s on Slavs, urban exploration, and peering into the depravity of what a cyberpunk society could truly be, I highly recommend Peripeteia. Yes, there's jank. Yes, it can be mind-numbing at times. Yet, underneath its intrinsic flaws is a game that could be a landmark in independent game development. I give Peripeteia 7 small batteries out of the number of beers this NEET has in her apartment. That's all for now. More videos to come, so stay tuned. Due to my IRL work being somewhat strenuous, scheduling out a proper editing cycle is challenging. But we all have to make sacrifices in order to be considered functioning members of a society that reduces you to a number on a spreadsheet with a payment just adequate enough to be considered livable. Stay safe, stay sane, and take care.